Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, our platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Virgo Rising, or to anybody who just wants to hang out with the Virgo tribe, to part 1 of your July 2018 report. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. And we're going to dive into the cards, into a bit of the astrology to see what's happening for you this month. Even though this is part 1, this will cover the whole month of July, so don't worry about that. For part 2, what I'm going to do is probably more of an intuitive horoscope where I do like a channeled writing. Maybe I'll draw like one card, but that's going to be more like a shorter video, intuitive channeling. But for this one, I'm going to be drawing mostly cards. And of course, I will talk a little bit about astrology, of course, because I'm an astro nerd, and that's why you come here if you're watching me. But you come here for astrology and tarot. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get that first card, and I'm just going to cut the deck. Wow. Okay. Virgo? What's going on with you? We have the Seven of Swords. So, feeling like you've been left out of the loop, feeling like you've been backstabbed. I'm feeling like you feel like you've been left out of the loop. Because it's like, Virgo, you are the sign of facts. Facts! You're the sign of facts. And you want, to have all your ducks in a row, right? You're about facts, about kind of keeping things in order. You're a very pragmatic sign. So, to have the Seven of Swords here, it's kind of interesting because I feel like you actually you feel like there have been some facts and some information that's been left out, and it's got you a little apprehensive. I guess it's because things are so shifting right now, and the energy is so, transformative and stuff. It's like you're wanting to have some sense of security and groundedness, but the funny thing is that you are a mutable Earth, so it's like even though you can be grounded because you are Earth, you are the least grounded of the Earth signs because you understand changeability. You understand what it means to, be able to adapt. So it's like, I think what's happening here is like, yeah, you might not have all the facts, Virgo, but you need to learn how to adapt to, it's like, okay, what happens when you don't have all the facts? You gotta trust your gut. You gotta trust your intuition. You gotta trust spirit, which might be a little hard for you, but Pisces is your opposite sign. So that means that you absolutely can access that magic, but you might have to even go against what you normally would do or how you normally would even act. So the Seven of Swords, it's almost like simultaneously, it's like you feel like you have been cheated out of certain information that could really help to create more of a sense of order in your life and, steadiness. But at the same time, in order for you to kind of create that, you almost have to it's almost like a paradox. You almost have to kind of step outside your comfort zone and kind of just be adaptable and change and realize like, okay, well, I might not have all the facts and stuff, but you know what? Maybe I should trust in spirit. That's interesting. So let's go ahead and shuffle and see what's going on for you. We have this new moon. The two major things that are happening this month are the eclipses, but we also have Jupiter going direct, so that's really powerful. It's happening in. That card just kind of came out. That's the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Swords. The Jupiter direct for you, Scorpio. So that's going to be your third house of communication and the mind. So this is actually going to be you starting to open up to communicating more with those depths of who you are and stuff like that, and really trusting yourself. It's like, do you trust yourself? I'm hearing, do I trust myself to create? Do I trust myself to express the authentic me? Do I trust myself to move forward even though I don't have all the facts? That's what I'm hearing. So yeah, Eight of Swords, you might be feeling kind of bound up too because this is not really your norm. This is not really what you normally would go to, alright? But we also have the Strength card, so you're being asked to actually have a lot of strength right now. And Virgo, this has been kind of, this has been a pretty interesting time for you, for all Virgos, because the North Node is in Leo, which for you is the 12th house, so it's very spiritual. And it's interesting. Dang, I got this card again. Knight of Swords. Alright, so the air signs really are playing a huge role this month. But anyways, the North Node, like I said, it's in Leo, which is your 12th house of spirituality. So it's like, in the North Node, we're being asked to really embrace our passions and really come into our heart space more and manifest from that spot. And it might be a little hard for you because since Leo is, like I said, the 12th house and it's natural ruled by Pisces and you lights out all the facts, it's a little bit harder for you to try and, you know, manifest from a place of trusting spirit because you really want to have all the facts. You can be rather scientific in the way that you approach things. But this speaks to the fact that you kind of need to learn that adaptability. So it's like we have the Knight, so we have the Eight of Swords, so we have the Strength card, but we also have the Knight of Swords. So once again, this could be a Gemini, this could be a Libra, or this could be an Aquarius playing a significant role. I'm feeling the first two. I'm feeling Gemini or Libra. I'm feeling Gemini because I don't know what it is, and I've seen this a few times, but like Virgo Gemini is like a very karmic connection. I don't know what it is about Virgo and Gemini, but it's a very karmic connection. Like they come together and there's some energy about that where it's like, you know, Virgo wants to kind of perfect things, and then Gemini reflects back to Virgo, you know, a lot of Virgo's insecurities, but then Virgo kind of like, it's a weird energy where they kind of bounce off of each other, but for some reason it kind of works. Libra is also a very karmic connection because they're right next to each other, and the thing is that I like to think of Virgo and Libra as a alpha and omega point. The reason why I say that is because, you know, when people think of like the alpha and omega, you know, it's like, you know, the beginning and the end of something, right? So a lot of times people like to think of alpha as Aries and omega as Pisces, but I think any two signs that are right next to each other are technically an alpha and omega because there's no definitive point on when a circle starts. Yeah, the astrological year starts in Aries, but if you look at a circle, where does the point lie? Like you can't exactly see where the point lies. So it's like Virgo and Libra is also an alpha and omega point too. So this definitely could be a Libra as well that's going to be playing a significant role in your life. We do have Venus, which actually has just come into your sign. And Venus doesn't really like to be here, but this is going to be kind of interesting for you because it's going to kind of put a little bit of the spotlight on you because we haven't had too much Virgo energy besides the moon going through there. But we haven't had too much Virgo energy. So like this is actually going to give you an opportunity for you to kind of figure out the kinks and the facts and the details in your relationships and how you're open to receiving things. How you're open to and what you like find attractive, what you find to be luxurious, what you like. This is going to help you to kind of iron out the details of what exactly is that. But you kind of, like I said, you have to have the strength to break out of your comfort zone. And I see the Eight of Swords is not necessarily you putting the blindfold on, but it's actually your comfort zone. And how your comfort zone can almost become like our own personal hell. It's like, yeah, we want comfort and we want security, but at the same time, if we get too comfortable within that, it can actually become a personal hell for us because we're not advancing spiritually. And the North Node in your 12th house is asking you to really advance spiritually. Not only that, but you are being called really to come into your heart and to transform from that place. Because think about it, with this new moon solar eclipse, we have, you know, the new moon conjunct, you know, we have the moon conjunct the sun at 20 degrees in Cancer, which for you, this is the 11th house. So you're really going to be concerned about how you are perceived in the world and like your place in the world. But this is going to be opposing Pluto and Capricorn. This is for you, the 5th house, naturally ruled by Leo. And so this means that your heart is going through a bit of a transformation. And if you're not careful, and you might find yourself expressing more of the dark than the light because of whatever might have happened in the past. Maybe by feeling like you've been feeling left out and by not having all the facts. Not having all the facts and being so obsessed over having all the facts and having all the details and knowing how things are going to work out might actually bring out more darkness in your heart than light. And you have to be really careful because, like I said, with Pluto here, it's really going to be transforming this spot for you. And the thing about it is that you absolutely can manifest from your heart. This is what makes Virgos actually really incredible manifestors, because they do have Capricorn as a 5th house. So it's interesting because it's like they're willing to really put in the work, especially if they're really committed in their heart. They're really like they're really a sign, you are really a sign where you are willing to put in the work that it takes to get somewhere. And if your heart really feels it to be true, you're going to get there, no matter how long it takes. I've seen this in my own personal life with Virgos that I know. My dad being a prime example. Probably one of just his ability to manifest is pretty, like, inspiring. So, let's draw some more cards. What else is happening for you, Virgo, this month? What else is happening for you? I know you probably have been waiting because I've been making these videos over the course of the past week. Literally what I did is I put the names of this, because I did Cancer first because I wanted to make sure I did Cancer. I'm surprised that I didn't end with Capricorn. It was really close. That would have been pretty cool if that happened. But I literally just put I just wrote the signs on pieces of paper and put them into a hat and drew. And yeah, you happen to be the last one. But, you know, last but not least, you know, find that all the signs are equal, you know. All the signs have great power. We need all the signs. And we are all the signs. So, let's see what else is happening for you. Ooh, that card flipped up. Okay, so maybe the dinosaurs is an Aquarius. But the star card, I feel, is just talking about your destiny. So what's happening with the star card? What's some clarity on that? We have the Page of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Three of Swords. So there may be some heartbreak this month, and it might actually be destined to happen. And I really don't, you know, Three of Swords, it's one of those cards in the deck where it's like, eh. But it's like, just the way that it seems, the way it's coming across, you know, we had the Star card. The Page of Swords could be speaking of, you know, a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Swords. So this can be perceived in one of two different ways. One, there definitely could be a breakup. For those of you out here, this is a general reading, so it doesn't apply for all Virgo Sun, Moons, and Rising. But there definitely could be a breakup. So don't be alarmed by that, because A, it's destined, and whatever karmic contract you have with this person, as of this incarnation, it's done. I mean, you might meet them up in the next life, but as far as this incarnation, it's done. But there's actually going to be great fortune that comes to you afterwards, probably because the universe needs to clear this out in order for you to, you know, receive more. You know, it needs to clear this area out, Virgo, in order for you to manifest more. But what this also can mean is that maybe you've been looking at a particular situation with someone, and I'm feeling it actually is someone, that you may be feeling heartbroken about it, or you may be feeling, I'm going to draw one more card just because, like, I'm really interested in this. Okay, so we have the Hierophant. So, yeah, this is going to be, you really do have to trust your gut and trust your intuition, because you definitely don't have all the facts, Virgo. And it's been frustrating you. So maybe the Three of Swords is actually you being frustrated about not knowing what's going on. So yeah, it could be speaking to the end of a relationship, but it can also be speaking to the end of you thinking that you have to know everything in any given moment. Now, you still represent the facts. You still represent, you know, having your ducks in a row. And just, you know, wanting to keep things in order and tidy and pragmatic, you know, working on the day-to-day reality. But yeah, a relationship, if you are coupled, a relationship might go through a bit of a strain this month. Virgo, your seventh house is, well, yeah, your seventh house is Pisces, right? So Neptune is retrograde there. So yeah, this is really you having to call on spirit. You're really going to have to call on spirit this month, because it's like you may even want to try and, it's interesting how we have the Hierophant here, and you may even want to try and seek out traditional sources of wisdom, but it's not necessarily going to click. That's why we have the Star card here as well. So it's like, you know, whatever situation you kind of find yourself in, whether you feel like maybe you have to leave a certain person behind or a certain relationship behind, and you're feeling kind of heartbroken, you're feeling kind of torn over it, first of all, you're going to gain more clarity about this with this new moon, because, like I said, Pluto's in your 5th house, which means that it is transforming. So, but you're going to have to like not seek traditional forms of advice and motivation and inspiration. You're going to have to go deeper. You're going to have to seek deeper. And I think, like I said, the Wheel of Fortune is here, so it actually brings a bit of positivity and light to this. So it doesn't have to be all bad. And even if you are in a relationship and maybe things are a little rocky, this could be signaling to the fact that things are going to be on the come up. Things are going to get better. Things are going to start to blossom more. But I think it's like you both have to kind of come out of like your and it's funny because it's like you're not fixed, but you have to come out of your fixed tendencies and they have to come out of their fixed tendencies, and you gotta have to kind of meet in the middle and just like trust in spirit. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If you're meant to be with that person, you're meant to be with that person. If you're meant to be with that job, you're meant to be with that job. If you're meant to be, a certain physique, or whatever, or have a certain house, or have a certain material thing, or go to a certain place, it'll happen. But I think you've been kind of obsessing over the timing of things. You've been really focused on the timing of things, and maybe the timing might just be off, a little bit. Or it's just like maybe you're not connected to the divine timing. So instead of worrying about kind of traditionally what we see as like, I guess, spiritual, you have to develop your own sense of spirituality, which is what spirituality is all about. It's about your own unique path. Let's see what else we got. It's a very interesting reading, Virgo. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands that just popped up. Bring some fiery energy. I don't think the Queen of Wands is the person. I think this is your divine feminine, the divine feminine version of you. That's like of a fire element. That's what I feel like it is. Like it's being rekindled. Okay, so those cards popped out too. Let's see what we got here. We have the World card again. So we do have your card popping up. So it's kind of just reminding you that the world is your oyster. We have the Four of Pentacles. Alright, Virgo, we have the High Priestess. We have the Tower. We have the Seven of Swords again. And we have the Four of Cups. Yeah, some of you guys might go through a heartbreak. I've had that in some way, shape, or form. You're going to go through some type of heartbreak, some type of disappointment, and it's going to hurt. But I think, honestly, there's great fortune to be had on the other side of it, because I think this thing kind of needs to fall away, or at least your perception of it. Maybe it doesn't necessarily come to a full, abrupt end, even though we did get the Tower card there. But let me just go ahead and tell the story. And the reason why I say this is, like, I want you to see the Queen of Wands here as, like I said, the divine feminine aspect of you that's of a fiery element, and that's going to be kind of like your persona through the story of these cards. So the world, right? And it's funny, this is Capricorn energy, right? And then Pluto is in Capricorn, your 5th house. So it's like you're definitely wanting to bring forth some type of fiery passion into the world. But can you? Can you actually bring it forth? And you're obsessing over if you have everything, ready to do so. Do you have all the details? And you naturally want to try and control the outcome in some way, shape, or form. But it might be hard for you to, because you might have to actually just put stock in faith. The Four of Pentacles is having you kind of be a little stubborn, because you're kind of wanting to hold on to your old ways. But we have the High Priestess, so it's asking you to really trust in your intuition, trust in the divine. And the High Priestess, it's also about, it's many ways about integrating our light and our dark. So it's like, it's about appreciating both aspects of who we are, too. The High Priestess is really asking you to really listen to your inner voice. This is why it's like I said, why I said, don't listen to traditional forms of inspiration and spirituality. We have the Tower card. So yeah, something is coming to an end. Something is absolutely coming to an end. Job, a relationship, or maybe just a way at perceiving these things. We have the Seven of Swords, which means that you're going to be feeling, like I said, kind of backstabbed by the universe by this. And then we have the Four of Cups, which is like you kind of pondering over what the hell just happened. Because I think what's happening with you, Virgo, is that you're going to go through a huge transformation. And it's funny because the way I have this laid out, and this was not really intentional, but the Wheel of Fortune is actually in the middle of the spread of the cards here. But I think amongst all of this energy, even though there's some cards that seem like it's like not the greatest, it might try and like, you know, make you feel like, oh, this is going to be a hard month for you. I think there's great fortune to be had, and I think honestly that, you know, if you just really embody, you know, trust, that you will make it through. I don't think this is going to be a bad month for you. I think it'll be a challenging month for you. You might have one of the more challenging months, Virgo, but that also means that you might have one of the greatest evolutions this month as well. Because challenges, you know, they seek to, you know, they seek to teach us something, you know. They seek to teach us something about ourselves and about what we're capable of. So it's like when you're playing a video game, or like anything that you're doing. It's like the further you go, the bigger the challenge, right? So say you're playing sports and you start playing in Pee-wee, you know, Pee-wee sports, you know, elementary school, and then you get to high school, and everyone's a little bit bigger and stronger and faster, and then you get a scholarship to go to college, and everyone's bigger, stronger, faster, and then you get to the pros, and everyone's bigger, stronger, faster. The challenges are bigger, the stakes are higher, you can win a championship, it's bigger, you can have endorsements, the challenges mount up and they get bigger. And it's funny, it's like the further up you go, it's like the less you know. It's like, really, the further you go on this path, the less you know. And that's a little disillusioning for you. But I think that's honestly why you're mutable. Because it's like, you can actually kind of feel into all of the possibilities and shapes that Earth can take, the Earth element can take. And you're really concerned about the facts, interesting enough. And you're really concerned about kind of keeping things in a row. You know, but I think it's because you are kind of aware of all of these different Earths. And when that you know that, you know, Virgo rules fairies. Virgo actually rules all animals that we deem as mystical. So fairies, gnomes, elves, dragons, unicorns, griffins, the Loch Ness Monster. Virgo, you actually rule all of those fantasy animals, which is kind of funny because, like, you would think that that's Pisces, and it kind of is, but it's like those creatures actually exist in the Earth, in a plane of existence, because Earth is the element. This is not actually the Earth. This is Gaia. If I had to call it something, if I had to give it a name, I would say that this Earth that we're on, this planet we're on, is Gaia. But Earth is actually the element. And since you're a mutable Earth, it's about that changeability and that ability to kind of adapt. So yeah, there are Earths that are ruled by dragons, or where dragons are, or where fairies roam, or gnomes and elves and griffins soaring through the skies, and unicorns. And it's like, this might sound all fluffy and fantasy and magical, whatever, but you are on that axis with Pisces. So you have to remember that, yeah, you may be all about, it's like, you kind of want to know where things are and stuff, because it might set you up to be able to really manifest and be of service, because Virgo is also a sign of service. So it's your day-to-day reality. So it's about, you know, the service that you give to others as well. So, and I like to think of, like, I had this one channel I did where it's like, say we all incarnate into, you know, we incarnate into this world or whatever, and the world looks like what it is to us, but it's almost like we each perceive it on a deeper level as something else. And it's like each sign perceives it as something else. And I had like different like actual locations. And I said that Virgo, you kind of perceive it as a hospital, where you're actually here to actually heal a lot of people. And different signs have different things. Like Scorpio, it's a tomb that they're exploring. Aquarius, it's a library. So, and that might be a video I'll make in the future. But I actually think it's going to be a very powerful month for you, Virgo. I think it will be challenging, but I think honestly, you're going to come out of it actually appreciating the challenges, you know. So let's see what your Sacred Oracle Traveler card is. And then we'll get into your color card. So we have Rainbow Blessings. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Blessings are showering your life. So even though you may be feeling trapped, you may be feeling backstabbed, even though you may experience some type of heartbreak, blessings, they're blessings in disguise. So you, especially out of all the signs, might receive blessings in disguise. And the funny thing is that, you know, when I pull back the card, the Four of Cups kind of popped off, and that's kind of what the Four of Cups is. It usually shows the universe or a hand coming out of a cloud, offering this person someone, like a cup or a drink from this cup, offering them something. And it's like they're just sitting there pondering. It's like, oh, what is life? What is life? And it's like I feel like the universe this month will be actually offering you blessings. You might be a little disillusioned about it, but it's going to be offering you these blessings that are going to be pretty heavily disguised. And you have to realize that you are going to be showered with these, and that's actually going to promote your growth and your expansion. You're evolving. Your healing card for the month of July is we have Sapphire, which is regenerate your body. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a time where you want to really, health is wealth this month for you. Health is wealth this month for you. So it's like, yeah, you might, one way I guess to work through any type of dissatisfaction you have with not knowing how things are going to work out is by actually getting to your body, by realizing that health is wealth, and this is actually going to bring you closer to spirit. This is actually going to awaken your intuition more. It's actually going to bring you more connection to your heart, but you're regenerating your body is really powerful. Sapphire, you know, I've been telling a lot of the signs this. There's like, you want to do something like color therapy this month. Change your phone wallpaper to Sapphire for like a week or two out of the month, or do something with that energy of Sapphire so you can really begin to augment it. But when you're regenerating your body, it's like you're appreciating your body, you're appreciating all of who you are. It's like, yeah, the funny thing is that like we come into this life insomniacs and we don't really know what's going on, and even as we go on this spiritual journey, it seems like the further we go, the less we know. But what we do know, what we can do is protect this sacred temple that we have. So this is going to be really important for you, Virgo, this month to regenerate your sacred temple, and that actually is what's going to allow you to really move forward and feel the fortune this month. Because even though you might come up against some challenges, it's really there to propel you forward in an incredibly profound way. That is it for your reading, Virgo. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and tap the bell to receive all the notifications I put on this channel. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can follow the link in the description below to theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often. Ah!